Welcome, everybody, to episode 254 of Two Amazon Sellers and a Microphone. This is Chris, and I'm riding solo today, but I really got Paul with me. Paul's with us, and we'll talk about who Paul is here shortly. But today, we have Paul Barron, the CEO and founder of Influx. I think I'm saying that right.
You are.
It's an influencer marketing agency. Paul, a little bit of background on Paul. He's a $1 million seller, amazing.com instructor, an ASM5 student, an expert in chatbot marketing. His brands have received some consulting from Shark Tank's Barbara Corcoran, and he's been featured in Rachel Ray's show and Forbes magazine. The last time Paul was on was episode 71, where we talked about chatbot and how chatbot marketing and how to engage with your customer. But today we're going to take it a little bit different turn and talk a little bit about influencer marketing, which is the new hot thing. So Paul, welcome. How things been going with you?
Crazy, man.
I bet.
I'm sure you're like in all these like WhatsApp chats, or you go to a conference and it's like Telegram or WhatsApp. And I was talking to one of my friends who we were at an event in London, like a small get together, and like, hey, how you doing? And she was like, oh, I'm like my brain's like a herd of cats. I'm just trying to keep it on task. And I'm like, that is like, I've used that terminology like, hey, it's like herding cats, like when working with influencers or my kids, like I'm sure, you have small children. It's like herding cats, but that's like my brain. I feel like that's a great description of the entrepreneur's brain.
There's times like I'll wake up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and I don't know what happens, but like I start to have things. Oh, got to do this, need to do
Oh,
that. Let's go here. Let's go here. And then I
you're
try to
done.
lay down.
You're
Yeah, I'm
done.
done.
You're
I'm
done.
done. I'm up. I'm like, I can't get back to sleep. And start working, start doing things. And
Dude,
it's
that's
like,
the worst. I've had
it's
I haven't
terrible.
had that happen in a while, but it's like when you wake up and you think about being awake, I'm like, I'm done. If my brain starts going, and that's the hard thing with entrepreneurs, right? You turning your brain off. Like
Yeah.
it's this we started, my wife and I read this good book together called Garden City. And it's really good, but it's basically about, so it's kind of a faith-based book, and it's about basically observing the Sabbath, or taking a day off, and how important a day of rest is, and how like we as humans are designed to turn this crazy world into a garden, and abundance mindset, that sort of stuff, and how rest is intrinsically important to that, and most people don't rest. And so we started implementing a few things from the book, and namely on Sunday, it just made sense for us. It's like the easiest day of the week. So like Saturday night, when sun goes down, it is our vacation. And what we told the kids is like, we take a vacation every single week, and what we're vacationing from is work, worrying about getting stuff done. We put our phones away. I leave them plugged in all day long. No screen time whatsoever. No TV. So it's great for watching football games, right? I see your Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I watch it all on replay, and it's so much faster. And
You
plus,
miss the commercials and everything.
well, yeah. Plus, since I've had my phone down all day, I don't need to worry about people spoiling the scores.
Yeah. All these notifications going off.
Right. Yeah. So I turn on, I leave my watch on, but I turn on do not disturb. Like the only thing that gets through are like if I have a phone call or something. But it has been really amazing for like my mental health, and like connecting with family, and like the kids love it. Like they look forward to it. It's crazy because like during the week they're like, Dad, can I watch on my iPad? Can I watch on my, I'm like, fine, whatever, you have an hour, you can earn more time.
Mhm.
But on the weekends, on Saturday night, um, all day Sunday, it's just family time. Like,
And
don't
what
go
are some things
shop.
you guys do?
Play games, we go to the park, play soccer, play football. We play board games, read books, take naps. Like literally, it's just anything. You can do anything you want. We're not going to the store. We don't buy things. We just focus on quality time with each other, and we don't leave our phones on. So if people try to get a hold of me on Sunday, I won't see it. Like I'm very strict about it. Rochelle's a lot better at managing herself than I am. Like, so she has her phone for like when people call and stuff. But like if I have my phone in my pocket, it's like a pacifier. Like pull it out, and
Hmm.
I'm always looking at it and shit, and it's really annoying. So, um, I it's one of those things like I look forward to it every week like it's a mini vacation. And so like turning my brain off like that is the most effective thing that I have found to turn. It's like a stopping point, right? Cuz like if you work for yourself, you work from home. For me, my office is in the house. It's in the basement.
Right.
We built an office in our backyard. I'll be moving out there pretty soon once the walls are finished. Like I'm finishing the drywall and stuff all myself, which is taking forever. Um, Tim, my buddy, or you know Tim,
Yeah.
um, he's been. Haven't you been working on that like 2 years? And I have. I've been working on this stupid office like since the start of COVID. It's almost done finally. So once that's done, I'll have like the mental separation. Like I leave my house, I go to work. That's work. Leave work at work. And yeah, that's I'm trying to get better at that because like this year has been nuts.
What's Monday morning like after that?
Well, this Monday I took off because I was in Miami,
Yeah.
and I got back on Sunday, and so I didn't have my rest day. So I took Monday. That was my rest day, and generally Monday morning is full on. I mean, we got to get the kids to school by like we got to leave the house by like 7. So we're up and running around getting lunches and all that stuff. I generally will take the kids on Mondays. Take my son to school, drop my daughter off at preschool, come back home. I'm back home by like 8:30. Um, and then I have time blocks that I have them in there, but they're more like reminders. They don't always do that. Like
Right.
generally, I try to like check my email and do like admin type stuff. Generally, Mondays for me are admin and team meeting days.
Okay.
So like all um, meeting with the team, like we'll have a kind of a high level every account overview, like with the team. Like right now, we're sort of still beta test. Well, not really, but like we were just coming out of beta. We've been in like beta testing our service with clients for about a year. It feels like forever, like
Yeah.
honestly. So we have I don't know a dozen or so clients. So the team meeting where it's just account updates doesn't really take that long. And then we've implemented a thing that my buddy George, do you know George Moraisa?
Sounds familiar. See with clear ads?
Yeah, he's the
Okay.
founder of Clear Ads. He's one of the guys, like he was the first guy to ever get DSP ad access
Okay.
for Amazon. They just got DSP access for Walmart.
Nice.
So the guy is one of the nicest human beings that you'll ever meet, like ever. Um, and his team, they run on these things called Lion meetings, which is basically, I mean, it's a lot of teams do this, but it's last Lion stands for last week, issues, opportunities next week. So when you're starting, you basically go through and this is what I did last week. This is what I said I was going to do. I ran into these issues. And it could be work related, or it could be like, man, my back is really sore and I just haven't been able to focus on work. And so like, well, can we get you a chair or do you want a pillow? Like, well, let's
Right.
take care of that or something. Um, and then it's so that's their issues. And then if you have issues, let's say like, hey, you've said for the last 3 weeks you're going to do this, but it hasn't gotten done. What's going on? Then that's with the time the manager, the direct report. And the concept is it's the direct report. That person, so my ops manager generally runs these team meetings. I'm taking a step back in and running them because I've literally been traveling all flipping year.
Yeah.
And so
You've been everywhere.
I feel like I've been disconnected from the team. So um it's just a really good way to get a finger in the pulse of your business. The opportunities is really important because what that means is that's like what are opportunities in your job? But I also want people to be thinking, um, for the agency, we've been at like just below profitability because I've been trying to prove the process. Now we're at the point where I'm like, okay, we need to be profitable. I'm done putting, you know,
You're
thousands.
done launching new products. Let's try to get
Right.
some profit here.
Exactly. So I'm done paying. I'm done paying out of my pocket for you to live. So now the opportunities and this is like, what opportunities can you find to better serve our customers? What are the low hanging fruit that you can see that we can start driving more external traffic for our clients that we can include for free, ideally? Like if it's a high impact, low cost, what
Right.
opportunities, or are there opportunities that somebody's um, maybe they could hire us to do more or something. I don't know. So like I want them to start thinking through. The idea is that the team members put it together. They filled it out before you go to the meeting, and they're
Gotcha.
self-directing. So the goal is to get the company empowered. You empower them to make the change. If they come up with an issue, it's their opportunity. That's their opportunity for next week. An
Gotcha.
issue could become an opportunity, right? So, and then the next week is you just go over what you went last week. So last week you said these were your issues, these are your opportunities. What did you do about that?
What are we doing to get over these? What are you doing to achieve them,
Right.
to
Yes.
move
What
on?
have you done to achieve these opportunities that you saw, or what have you done to get over this issue? But
And these are called lion meetings.
Lion. So last week, issue,
Lion.
opportunity next week, and that was from a guy named George's business coach. I think Jamie Goral. Goral. Jamie Goral. That's his name.
So this is what I don't remember the first time I heard Paul speak, but you give it to you straight. Like there's no fluff here. This is all like you're an open book. And I don't remember where it was that I first heard about it. I know we ran into each other at Prosper, and before then we ran into each other in San Antonio. And somebody canceled at San Antonio. I think it was
It was Norm.
George or Norm.
Well,
Norm, yeah.
Norm couldn't make it because of COVID. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. And so they needed somebody. Here comes Paul.
yeah, it was funny because we were just going just to hang out because it was Chelsea and Amy's event, and they're really,
Yeah.
they're both great friends of mine. I'm actually working with Amy now. We partnered on putting an event together.
Nice.
So, yeah, they were like, "Hey, we need another speaker." I was like, "Well, I have a deck. I mean, it's not what Norm was going to talk about." And so last year, I think it was, I talked about our process with nano influencers. So there's been an
Yeah.
interesting segue, right? So you talk like chatbots. We use
Right.
chat inside Instagram to build our brand ambassador army. And then we, concurrent. So last year we were doing a lot of experimentation with TikTok. And now we've started systematizing. Basically, what we're saying is that there's more return on investment with TikTok than there is on Instagram, generally in terms
Gotcha.
of traffic, brand lift, that sort of stuff.
And is
So
Facebook just dead?
Facebook, I don't know, man. I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook.
Right.
It's kind of turned into a hate-hate relationship. Um, just I don't know. I don't think it is dead, but the thing is that Facebook is not innovating. Facebook is I don't I don't really know one thing that they've innovated in the past 2 or 3 years, honestly.
They've used it to steal everybody else's ideas.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they've innovated chat automation, which is really I think that's brilliant. I think it's great. In the Meta family of products, they have WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram Direct. And I really think that we're still on the cusp of using that for social commerce. So I think that that's innovative. But really, you look at like Instagram, and they're basically just copying TikTok. I
Right.
mean, they're pushing things into the feed algorithmically versus based on who you follow, which is exactly what TikTok does. There's two feeds. There's like the For You feed, For You page, and then there's the Your Friends. You could switch between them if you want to see just updates from your friends. But I don't think it's dead. It's just
Okay.
I don't know what it
And
is.
I don't see people talk about chatbots nearly like they used to, 3, 4 years ago. That was
Yeah.
the big deal, right? Facebook ad, chatbot, mini chat, Amazon listing, ranking, ranking, ranking.
Mhm.
I don't see that much anymore. What's going on there?
I think it's just not buzzy. It still
Yeah.
works. It's still great. The thing is that people, like with anything, there was a lot of abuse happening. And so then Amazon started to devalue traffic from ManyChat specifically. They don't always Amazon values traffic, but if they algorithmically can sense that they feel like the algorithm shows them that you might be gaming the system for rank manipulation, bestseller manipulation used to just pertain to BSR, but now they talk specifically about keyword ranking, right? And the whole thing that Amazon cares about is the integrity of their ranking, so that when people purchase something on Amazon, they can trust that what they found deserved to be there, meaning that the reviews are good, that it's not there overnight like some random person just gamed the system.
Right.
So there was a lot of that going on back in the day, and I still think that it's a worthwhile platform when used natively to the platform that you're building an audience on. So
Okay.
Influx, so kind of our my agency used to be called the chat agency because we were focusing on chat funnels and whatnot. But
Chatbots. Yeah.
ultimately, we're a traffic agency. We build audiences for people, and we run traffic, and so that's why we rebranded to Influx, because chat marketing is just a method of driving and building an audience and driving traffic. Um, just so happened that a lot of what we did with chat marketing transitioned to using it to build audiences of brand ambassadors and influencers on Instagram. And then we started, I mean, I've been deep in influencers for 6 years anyway. I just never
Hmm.
really thought of it as influencers. You know, we've been working with them, yeah, for quite a while. And I guess I just went where the market was. People were asking me, like, hey, I need more help with this. So I guess at the core, I'm an educator helper, like I'm a teacher, which is so
Yeah.
weird. Um,
Well, like, so I think, and this is maybe something part of the path of being an entrepreneur, and it's not on Amazon. You take a course, you get in there, you get your feet wet, and
mhm.
you're like, this is really great. And then comes a time where you're like, I can probably help other people do this, and make some other income with like an agency, but still run my Amazon business. Now you got like two things moving on at once. How do you juggle that? Like how do you do all that at one? How do you
I
go
was,
from being a chat agency to doing this?
it's really hard. And I definitely didn't listen to smarter people than I, because if I did, I wouldn't be doing the agency, to be completely honest. Um, when I started speaking, it was back in 2018, and the very first speech I gave was at SellerCon by Amazing, or ASM, that system, Matt Clark, and um, it was
Okay.
Jason Katzenbach, but he's
Oh,
since
okay.
moved into the retired world, which is good for him. He deserved it. Anyway, and that speech was on building a brand that the media loves, PR hacking, because we've got a knack for getting press. And so, like, everything that I've done is all tied. It all ties together. Like press, influencers, creators, they're the new publicity. Um, Chatbots were a way to communicate with people where they were communicating with each other, and they still are. So all these things tie together. So back in 2018, I gave a speech just because I just had this goal that I wanted to speak on stage. I didn't really have any reason. There wasn't like, I'm going to build this massive list and then start a course. I mean, it just so
Right.
happened that we did start a course, but that wasn't why I started speaking, because I started a course on chat marketing, which wasn't what I gave my speech on. I just started a course because when I spoke at this event, I was talking to Matt and Mike McClary, Matt Clark and Mike McClary, and they're like, "You're getting these reviews using chatbots. Like, how are you doing this? Can we do a course with you? Can we?" And I was like, "Well, I'm already doing a course, and you can do that module." Um, so it went from course to agency, because then I started speaking about chat marketing, and I wanted people to take the course. And then handful of people, a couple hundred people took the course. It was awesome. But then the sort of the industry started shifting in like 2018, late 2018, 2019, as companies were growing. They were like, okay, I don't want to do this myself. I want to just hire somebody, because that's how I am. Like, generally speaking, what will happen is I geek out about something, I learn, I might take a course and sign up just so that I understand how it works, so
And
that
then you
I
get
can
rid of it.
either, yeah, so that I can either train my team to do it, or I would just be like, if it makes sense, I'd rather just hire an expert. Because, so for example, with the influencer marketing thing, I've been doing this for 6 years. There's things that I do that are, I guess, that are expert level. I just don't think about because I've been doing it so long,
Just
right?
part of your routine.
Just part of my routine, and so it comes naturally to me. But when I'm trying to teach it, I don't necessarily always think like, this doesn't come naturally. People, they don't have the experience that I have. They can't just be like, oh, well, obviously you wouldn't do that for this reason, right? So that's why I started the agency, is because people kept asking. They were like, "Hey, can we just hire you?" And I guess I got sick of saying no, and I didn't. I'm not really good at looking at how much time I have. I mean, like, do I think that I could reasonably um, take this? So basically, how things work is I stopped doing coursework because
Yep.
that's a full time thing, and it was just me, and then I hired people, and so over the past 2 years, we've been building processes and getting really good at tracking results, because um, doesn't matter that I know that it's true, that this works, that sort of thing, if I can't show that in the numbers. When I was doing it for myself, I never tracked the numbers as much as I am for my clients. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm showing now the picture. Like, this is the work that we're doing. This is the halo that you're getting. These are the sales that you can attribute. And that's the one thing that with influencer marketing, if I could do one thing, I'd change it to creator marketing, because
Yeah.
um, influencers are creators and they don't necessarily like being called influencers. I mean, technically, you and I are like influencers light. I mean,
Right.
we're influential in
I'd
the
say
community.
more you than me.
Well, but it's weird because I remember, like, the first time I realized I was a quote unquote influencer, somebody paid me to get people to come to a party.
Yeah. Right.
It was like, this is a thing?
People do this.
People, you get paid to get people to go to parties? That's a
Parties.
freaking amazing job. Can you imagine if that was like your full time gig? Like,
No, then you start thinking, okay, now I'm a party promoter. How do I get people to go to parties?
right? But then it does get exhausting. Anyway, I'm a rabbit trailing here. Influencer marketing, I think most people have um, have heard of, but their expectations are generally off, because, like with anything, you're going to hear about the massive win, and that's the thing that's going to get buzz. That's just how social media
Hmm.
works. And the people that publicize this are the ones that have the 1 in 1,000 home run or grand slam. The Hail Mary that bobbled and then somehow turned into a touchdown. Like, that never happens, right? But it does. It does happen,
Yeah.
but not really. And that's really what a lot of times people go into influencer marketing with, this expectation that, they're going to work with somebody and then all of a sudden it's going to solve all their problems and you're going to get 800 sales a day. Like,
What's the normal process look like? Like you're saying, Hail Marys are really rare.
right.
What normally happens?
Well, normally you're building a mountain one shovelful at a time, and you don't see the mountain rise until years down the road.
Okay.
That's what's normal. Unless, now that's from the mindset of trying to do gifted campaigns, not like paying as little upfront as possible, right? I mean, there's that, what is it saying? Like, you can get good work, fast work, or cheap work, but you can't get all three.
You can't them all the same. Yeah. Can't them at the
You
same
can get
time.
good and fast, you can get cheap and fast, you can get, but you can't get all three. I'm probably screwing that up, but um, influencers are people that have spent a lot of time. Creators are people that have spent a lot of time creating, getting good at creating. It's a muscle that they flex, and they've gotten good at it. And so, if you want to work with people that have big audiences to get big results, you got to pay. You have to. There's no way around it. So you're either paying in time or you're paying in money. Most of the time, you're paying in both. Um, and so when people think they see those big numbers, they don't realize that sometimes people are paying, upwards of $2 to $10 to $20,000 for these types of posts. And nothing will ever replicate the success of an organic viral hit, ever, because once you put hashtag sponsored or hashtag ad, that entire post is then suspect to the person watching it.
Watching
They
it.
they may love you. They may think that what you do is amazing, but when you put sponsored, there's ad blindness that immediately turns on, and they start the questions then arise: why is he sponsoring this, or is he only promoting this because he's getting paid, or is it actually a good product? So there's all those things that go in. You have to understand human psychology. Like, I'm re-listening to Dan Ariely's book, Predictably Irrational. And his chapter 4 is all about social norms and marketplace norms. And with organic viral influencer success, like hits, right? So some massive influencer picks up your thing, or maybe not even massive. They just do a thing in your product and it goes viral and you get like 800 sales in a day. That happens. That does. But replicating that success is really hard to do because you're going from a social norm to a marketplace norm. And when you switch from social, so a social norm would be, let's say that we all know Rich Goldstein, right? IP
Yep.
lawyer.
Yep.
Okay. So say that Rich is a good buddy of mine. Let's say that if Rich and I were next door neighbors, I could go to Rich's house and, hang out. I could invite Rich over, like, hey, Rich, I'm going on vacation. Do you mind checking my mail for me? Or would you mind, or hey, I need to move my couch. Do you mind coming over and helping me move my couch? Maybe that takes him 30 minutes, right? That's social norm. We're doing it because we're friends. Now, if I were to go to Rich and say, hey, you spent 30, when I was gone on vacation, how long do you think you spent checking my mail? 2 hours? How long does it normally take you to drop a contract? 2 hours? 2 hours is 2 hours. Do you want to do a free contract for me? Like, that's not the same thing.
Mm-mm.
Like, I'm sure when I said that, you went like, ugh.
I was like, what?
Yeah, exactly. So it's social norm and marketplace norms. And the interesting thing about influencer marketing is we're mixing the two. And they are sort of like oil and water. And in order to get oil and water to mix, you need an emulsifier. And so I could get all weird and scientific, but the Influx, we try to be that emulsifier so that we can make it work. Because
Gotcha.
most people,
Okay.
when they're getting involved with influencer marketing, they don't know anything about marketplace norms. They don't know anything about the social norms. And they're trying to get, oftentimes what your goal would be is that you want to have somebody that you work with, that you respect each other, you respect that other person as a business owner, and therefore you're happy to pay them, but you're still friends, right? So with Rich is really good at what he does. I'm happy to pay him to do his IP work because he's really good at it.
It's a thing.
It's his thing, right? And I want to pay him, but it would be insulting for me to ask him to do his work for free. So that is what you need to think about with influencers. It oftentimes insulting to them if you ask them to work for free, because just because you don't understand the work that it took to build their empire doesn't mean it took a lot of work. It's just a very classic ignorant, the grass is greener. Like people that run service-based agencies look at maybe product-based businesses and like, oh man, it looks so easy. But you don't understand supply chain difficulties. You don't understand sourcing. You don't understand copycats. There's all these things that you don't understand. And so that's generally speaking, with influencer marketing, people have heard all the wins, but they've never seen the struggle.
Isn't there steps within influence marketing? So like if I'm starting out and I don't have the capital to buy all these influencers, I want to get small. And this is where you talked
Yep.
about in San Antonio with the Nano, like you can graduate with them. I'm using that word loosely, but like you can get them no cost. And as they grow, you've still built that relationship with them where maybe you're still doing posts or they're still doing posts for you for free. But starting out, brands on Amazon, they may not have the funds to get these big influencers with big
Right.
followings.
I mean, maybe they don't. So most oftentimes when influencer marketing isn't a fit for people, they don't have the right expectations, for one. They don't have the right expectations in terms of how much it's going to cost them, whether it's investment in dollars or time or both. And I lost my third. It'll come to me. I don't know why. Sorry, parent.
Yeah,
My
but like
parent brain turn on. But yes, there are steps. The way that I think about it is, if your goal should be to create a community of people that adore you. Oh, and the third thing is, yeah, for Amazon sellers, their products are just garbage. To be quite frank, it's literally the most Me Too product, or it's a very apparent that the person started this company knows nothing about supplements and they became an overnight expert on supplements because they want to make money, right? The weird thing about social media is it is a extremely superficial fake place that is desperate for reality, for realness,
Hmm.
right? So the posts that are real do the best. And how that's reflected in like brands, right, is that you have a brand owner that is um so let's see, like the things that I'm passionate about, the things that I love to do in my spare time, the hobbies. What are the things that I love to do? If I started a business in that and I did it just because I loved it and I wanted to make it better and I invented this better product, that is intrinsically more attractive than somebody starting a business because they felt they could make a shit ton of money selling supplements and gaming the
Hmm.
system and taking every black hat tactic. Those types of the quick get rich quick, hack your way to the top, that mentality that is so kind of ingrained in the Amazon space is one of the leading reasons, if not the reason, that most brands will not succeed at influencer marketing if they're transitioning in the Amazon world. You have to think real brand. You have to think, what is the USP and how is this like what's genuine? You put the genuine thing out there because the creators that you want to work with are genuine. They promote products that you genuinely like. It just so happens that they make money promoting products they genuinely like because they put the hard work in.
I love that you say that. So, Dustin and I were at the Helium 10 Sale and Scale Summit, and we're talking to some sellers, and this guy's like, "Oh, I just picked this product because it was great. And I'm going to use spatula because I don't remember exactly what it was." But
Right.
at some point, I'm like, "Do you want to be known as like the spatula guy? Like, is that like, are you into spatulas that much? Like, that's what you want to do? Or are you just trying to sell a widget to sell a widget?" He's like, "Well, I did the research on the numbers were good. I'm just trying to, ride this wave out."
Right.
And I'm like, "Look, you could do that. It's short lived, but I feel like that tide has turned, and now to your point, it's to be like brand. Like,
Right.
what are you going to be? Are you going to be in the kitchen niche? Are you going to be brand around it? Like, you're very open about your brand, the diapers.
Yeah.
You're like that's who you are. Like that you stay in that lane,
Yeah. And and now don't get me wrong, you need to use data
right?
because just because you think it's a great thing doesn't mean that the market will think it's a good thing. You're passionate about it doesn't mean the marketplace is passionate about it. And so you really need to understand like um TAM, total available market, SAM, serviceable market. How much of the total available market do you feel like you can service? And so all of these traditional things, so like Brandon Young, right?
Yep.
Like everybody knows him. He's the data guy. Like he is really, really good at picking products based on data. Um, the other thing that the happiest mix, I think, is where the delta of data and passion, right? You know that you are either passionate about this or you could become passionate about it. And you got to that's the balance, right? So I prefer to pick things that I'm already passionate about, that I already know a little bit about. So for example, well, let's just say if I'm not gonna use a real example because it's not launched yet, but let's say climbing. I used to climb like rock climb like
Okay.
5 days a week before I had kids.
Oh
Right?
goodness.
Yeah, I used to be really good. Now I'm super out of shape and um, whatever. But if I wanted to back then start a climbing brand, I felt like there might be room. I don't know. But I would need to look at the data because there are some very entrenched climbing brands, Black Diamond, Prana, um, La Sportiva. I don't know, just to name a few, right off the top of my head. Um, so you have to kind of you're in it, so you sort of know the market. I think that's the benefit because you can see that maybe the data says that there's room, but maybe being in the market, you could know that the people that are passionate about this, maybe they don't like new things. I don't know, but we're moving far from influencers. So let's go back. Yeah, influencers. So you asked for steps. Um, what are there steps to work with free people, like people gifted products upfront free? Um,
Yeah, like some smallers, and you kind of
yep,
graduate with them.
100%. There really is. But again, you have to make sure that your product is social media able,
Okay.
that it has legs on social media. Like the only thing good about selling paper is Dunder Mifflin. Like, but paper, joke office. It was a joke. He didn't even chuckle.
I didn't get it.
Dunder Mifflin, The Office, paper products. Paper products are super boring, but everybody loves The Office. But The Office is not about paper products, right? So The
No.
Office is social mediable. I don't know that putting a bunch of sheets of paper, people are like, "Ooh, look at that! Look at that sheet of paper. Yep, this sheet of paper is
I think
yellow.
it's nice and
Yeah,
glossy.
look at it! Look at that! Oh, I can get 100 of these sheets of paper." But you get my point. So you kind of need to be social media-able, if that is a word.
Right.
Um, and then you have to approach it with humility. You need to craft offers for everybody. It doesn't matter who they are. You need to make sure that your offer to the influencer, to the person with influence, is better for them than it is for you. And that can be a challenge. So, for example, we partnered with an Olympian and an NBA player, and I think it was 2017. The offer for her was, hey, she just retired from professional women's soccer to be a mom. Her husband plays in the NBA. Her focus was being a mom. And so we got in contact with her agent and said, hey, we love Lauren's story. Um, you know, here's our story, a little bit about it. We want to create a custom print for Lauren so that she can just donate 100% of the profits to a proceed, or the proceeds, 100% of the profits to a charity of her choice. And we got a deal with her on that. I learned a lot in that deal. Like, don't expect celebrities just to promote because
Promo product.
you asked them and they agreed. Like, set expectations, all that sort of stuff. But we secured a partnership, is my point. And how we secured that partnership is we made the deal better for Lauren than we did for us. It would have been a very different story of like, hey, can we send you some diapers and have them on your baby, and can you promote them for us? Right?
Right.
That feels weird. I mean, she's got
I just feel gross. I feel like dirty you saying that. I feel like I
right.
need to take a shower after
But
that.
that's the crux. That is the crux. I guess if you want to boil it down to the simplest thing, it's a Zig Ziglar quote. You can get anything you want in life if you help enough people get everything they want. So if you take your approach to working with influencers and creators and you just say, I don't care how big your audience is, how can I help you get what you want? How can I help you get where you're wanting to go? And then it takes some creativity to think through your brand helping them, right? So if you craft offers like that and make that as your bedrock, it doesn't matter how big the person is or how small the person is, you're going to win. You'll get less wins with the big people just because that's normal,
Right.
but you can use that success. The goal is, I would rather have every normal person raving about how great our products are, because I know the power of social proof is bigger than what their following says, how big their following is. Because if I can win them over and I can be like, for Ashley, that like our group of women that have been brand ambassadors for us, like Ashley and Hannah and Katie and all these ladies that we work with, if I can have them fall in love with our brand because we're being good friends, we're being good people, it moves it from the marketplace norm to the social norm. And then people are promoting you because they love you, not because they're making a shitload of money. The studies have shown over and over and over again that people will generally work harder for a cause than they will for money.
What are you doing to keep them warm? Like you got a
Influencers,
new, yeah.
creators,
How do you keep them warm?
just be well. With our brand ambassadors, I almost look at it as like a multi-stage thing, right? So a TikTok campaign is oftentimes a very finite thing. It's like a 30-day campaign. If it seems like this person loves us, they really like our products, they did a great job, we'll invite them to do more. And if they continue to show that they like working with us, we'll put them into a Facebook group. Now the medium is, it doesn't matter. It could be a Discord group, it could be it could be a Telegram group, it could be a WhatsApp group. My point is that you want to have some sort of group, right? A community. And then you have to invest time into that community. If you are the face of the company, like my wife is the face of our company, we know that the engagement in the group goes up when she posts. But you want to basically get good at championing community. and then the community starts to grow and it sort of takes on a life of its own. So that's how we keep them warm, is
Okay.
you keep them warm by treating them like people, by by celebrating their birthdays, by celebrating their wins, acknowledging things, and then when you throw in there hey, we're launching some new swim diapers here this is the campaign we've put together, make it easy for them, right? This is the campaign we'll put together, or ask their feedback. What do you think? Do you think this will work? When you
Hmm.
ask somebody's opinion, it shows that you value them. Because you asked their feedback. And oftentimes people don't ask their customers what they think because I don't know. Maybe they don't know how to get a hold of them. I don't know. But that's the goal. My goal is to have every normal person rave about how great we are that's in our demographic, so that mountain of social proof, right? I said we're like shoveling, we're making a mountain one
Hmm.
shovelful at a time. That mountain of social proof helps us get bigger placements. And then the bigger placements help us get more people, the normal people. And it's like it's a flywheel. And so the another big missed expectation I think with influencer marketing is that people they think it's just a one-time thing and then you're done. But it's not at all. It's like search engine optimization. It's like it's a content-based strategy. Content strategies take time. Um, if you really bust it, you can get some really great results in 6 to 9 months. But you just have to understand it takes a lot of time. And you could shortcut the time by greasing the wheels with money up front, so you can get that top tier people. But at the core, it's all about social proof. And the crowd wants what the crowd wants. And the crowd wants what the crowd says is popular. So if you can become the popular thing that the crowd is saying is the best, you will be the best because the crowd is saying you're the best. It's a feedback loop.
Right. And where's Amazon come in on this? Where's Amazon? What's Amazon's role in all of this besides obviously being the checkout cart?
Amazon's role is being a giant pain in the ass. That's what their role is. Um,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I am kidding, but I'm not. So as it pertains, most people on social media land are Amazon is a trust factor. So let's say that maybe they've never heard of you. They have heard of Amazon. So if you have the social proof off Amazon, then you have the social proof on Amazon. The social proof on Amazon is reviews, right? So influencer marketing is not the strategy. It's a piece of marketing that should be a part of your mix. So you have the social proof off Amazon. People say, "Hey, I got this on Amazon. I was seeing this everywhere." So a good example of videos that we've done and we've gotten for ourselves and for our clients would be, "Oh my gosh, I was seeing this, Crunch box, this Pat Mahomes cereal everywhere, and I just had to try it. And oh my gosh, it didn't let me down. Let me tell you what." And then I reached out to then the company reached out to me and they gave me this special discount code for you. That feels good, right? Like I saw this everywhere. Social proof.
Hmm.
I found it on Amazon and I got a discount. Here you go. Here's the discount. That's how it works. Now, the things that we're testing are and again, like I'm not generally built this way, like it's weird. I'm a weird mix of like analytical, but I'd much rather just do something and not pay attention to I just want to just do it, right? I don't like
Right.
not doing things. Sitting down and analyzing data is like, "Ugh, let's just keep doing stuff." But for our clients, like we have to do that. So the things that we're testing are how is conversion affected if we drive people to an intermediary landing page versus directly to Amazon? Or what if we use as the intermediary landing page the storefront and we just put a specific page, it's a sales page on the Amazon storefront?
So back up there, you're making a separate page before you send them to the direct detail page.
We're testing that out. We're about to start rolling
Okay.
that and
Okay.
looking at the data. Historically, what we've done is drive to a social promo code just because of the ease of use to the end user. The social promo code pages are garbage. They look
Garbage.
terrible. They just don't. They're not designed. It's like Amazon put together something that could be good.
But
It's
didn't
like
finish
they
it.
they did the research for the essay. They wrote everything, but they didn't do the final paragraph and turn the paper in.
Mhm.
So like the social promo code could be so good. It's just not like social media, you're interrupting people's lives. Maybe they're pooping and looking at TikTok. Maybe they're maybe they're in line waiting to pick up their kids at school. Maybe they're just wasting time late at night. Now that's the ideal. That would be, but there's a lot of things that people are doing on social media and you are interrupting their lives. So you need to understand that in that interruption, it's not it's enough to stop them. You're in the funnel. In terms of funnel, you're top of funnel. You've convinced them to take one step further, but the middle funnel, you have to sell them. You have to the video generally does if you have a really sales focused video, it generally won't get them in the funnel. You have to have like a thumb stopper, attention grabber. Let's go check this out. Then you want some sales page, really convincing copy, convince all the social proof, all that sort of stuff. So that's why we're testing that because
Gotcha.
we've seen the data is showing us that when we run these campaigns, traffic goes up. Like shocker, weird, right? And you're getting traffic. Oh, crazy.
Strange.
Um, conversion generally goes down. Sales go up, obviously. But the one thing is that we don't see the sales measurably increase via attribution. But across the board, the sales are higher as so what we're doing is like a 30-day period, right? So 30 days prior, 30 days during, 30 days after. What's the data telling us? The things that we haven't aggregated in the past, but because we were relying too much on attribution data, which is detail page views, add to cart, conversions, which is just a part of the picture. Some of the stuff that we're starting to gather now is keyword ranking increase over time. So keyword ranking before, during, after, bestseller rank before, during, after, and branded search terms before, during, after. So those 3 data points we're starting to integrate into our look because again, how social media works is again, you're waiting for your kid in the drive line at school, watching TikTok. Oh, it's your turn to move. You turn off TikTok. You come back. You might swipe over to see it, but you're not going to buy. But maybe you'll buy
But then you
later.
go back to Amazon and you type
Yeah,
it in, brand
maybe you'll
name,
buy.
and there
Yeah,
it is.
if you're in market for it, it might pop up. But the point is that this type of content, this type of saturation, is a bunch of smaller accounts, and we know psychologically that people they need generally at least 7 touches. I've heard that is drastically increasing now due to ad blindness and the amount of marketing and advertising. I need to look at the numbers now, but just think of it like that. If your goal should be to have always on content that's UGC, not done by you, because it doesn't matter if you say that you're the best. If you want people to have a good opinion of you, you want 10 other people to say, you got to talk to Chris. Chris is a
Yeah.
genius. Now, if you went and said, hey guys, you got to talk to me, I'm a genius, right?
It doesn't work, right?
Not the same. That's why
It's not
you
the
want
same.
that's why you want all this UGC all the time. And so the goal is perpetual UGC. When we generally get started, it takes at least 6 to 8 weeks for the first campaign. Because the first campaign, you're going to be lining out things like what's the goal of the campaign? What products are we promoting? You're crafting 2 offers, the offer to the influencer and the offer to the influencer's audience, right? So it has to be, ideally, you want to create an offer that's so good that people would feel stupid saying no, i.e., way better for them than it is for you, right? So that is the goal. If I could craft an offer, let's say that you are Mr. Beast and I wanted to work with you, I would need to make an offer so good for you that you would feel stupid saying no.
Yep.
In order to do that, I really need to understand your goals. I really need to understand what would be good for you. What would you think would be amazing? Then furthermore, I need to craft an offer that is so good for your audience that they would feel stupid saying no. If you can nail all of those things, like you will crush it. The problem is most people don't nail those things. Most people have a very anemic offer, very one-sided offer. It's very beneficial to the seller, not at all in consideration of the influencer. And then they give like a 10% discount and they wonder
And that's not
why it's not
enough.
working. Weird. I mean, come on. You're
10%.
pooping.
Come on.
Would you stop pooping and buy something on Amazon because you got 10% off? No.
No, no, no,
So,
no.
I just
What's the average like capital? Like, because this is just soapbox time, I guess. But
I,
like, you got 5 grand to spend a month, and you spend 5 grand on Amazon PPC, or you spend 5 grand on influencer marketing. Like,
yeah,
where do you look at?
it's not an either or. It's PPC.
It's together.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you only
Oh,
have 5
all
grand,
PPC.
if you only have 5 grand to spend, you need
Yeah,
to make sure that you are making money, right? Um, you can never beat the fact that Amazon sponsored products are going to do the best job for that, because now again, maybe I'm selling against myself, but my point is that you can't think either or. This is something that you add in addition to.
in addition.
And I think that that's once, because so there's on Amazon traffic, which is gold. If you can maximize that,
Intent
because
to buy, be there, all that.
right, because generally people are on Amazon either in the consideration phase or the purchasing. They've made a decision. They just need to decide which one, right? That it's very bottom of funnel. This is very top and middle funnel, right? We're talking traffic, stopping people, and then hopefully we're moving them all the way down to purchasing too. So this is a much longer funnel. It's going to cost you way more. Depending on what sources you read, CPMs for influencer marketing range from $10 to $300, which is crazy. We see CPMs about $2 to $6 with our projects. So CPM is the cost per thousand impression, right? It's a standard way that advertisers measure costs, right? So where would you start? Let's say if you don't have any money, watch my course, I guess. Well, I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
talk about it. You got something coming up here tonight.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a
I've got
recording or
I've got a
whatnot. But
workshop tonight. It's by the time this comes out, um, it'll probably be after the fact, or this go live later.
this will go. We'll put it live later today. But
Oh,
by
okay.
the time some people listen to this, it might be
Yeah.
over. But
So
anyway,
you can get access to it evergreen, because I will have that recording, but it's a 2-hour
cool.
workshop. And literally I was working on making sure that all the slide transitions and all that stuff and before this. But um, basically I started this workshop because there's a lot of people that want to hire us that just can't afford to, and I want to help them. And at least give them some training so that they could do it themselves. And like I said, you can either pay us, you can pay influencers up front, or you can spend the hard time and do it yourself. So if you don't have money, really, you just need to get good at grinding. You got to go through, you got to find people. And if you're just getting started, let's say you have no social proof, you're me 6 years ago. You got to start somewhere. You probably want to start by paying for some UGC. Unless you're good at getting content yourself, you want to season your socials with some good content. You might need to pay for some UGC placements up front just to get that seasoned. Then you want to just start approaching people and telling your story. You got to get good at the story. Again, this is why Me Too products don't work. You have to talk about, this is our brand. This is why we exist. This is why we're changing. We want to work with you. If you can move it from a marketplace norm to a social norm, cause-based, help us change the world. Help us make the world a better place, one swim diaper at a time. And you can do that. We're just going to give you some. So I would start by just asking people if I could send them product. No, nothing in return. Just,
Okay.
hey, can we send you some stuff?
And that involves just get on Instagram, find your hashtag or TikTok, and just start
we saw
sending
your
DMs.
we saw your content. We think this is fantastic. We think that we think that you would love this. Can we send you some? Most likely you'll get some posts. It's likely that you may never get posts, and you got to be okay with that. You're starting from nothing. If they post, then I would say, Chris, thank you so much for posting. Do you mind if I post that on my channel and tag you as a collaborator? This is Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You're building up social proof. And then from there, you've got a little bit under your belt. Or you could do what we do oftentimes, which is, again, hey, we want to give you this and give you a 10% commission on everything you drive. Is that something you'd be interested in? They say
Yeah, I've
yes
heard
or
you
no.
talk about this before where, Amazon obviously gives a kickback with the attribution to the brand, but then you could also just split the profits
You
with
could
the
just,
influencer.
yeah, you could just split the profits. You could do that. There's a lot of, so like Andrew Morgans. Do you know him?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
he's in KC
He's
as
in
well.
Kansas City. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a KC guy. So he and I work together a lot. We work with a lot of his clients building out these programs. He's really focused on like the massive, the celebrities, right? And one model with partnering with celebrities is he's doing this is like they suck at product development, like the influencers do. So he's developing products and helping them market those products.
Yep.
So it's like a 50-50 split. That's one model. So let's say that you're a skincare line. I mean, that's what the Kardashians do. You think that
Yeah.
they're actually developing products? No, they're not.
No. No, no,
No,
no.
it's just it's somebody's licensing their name. It's a licensing deal. So that's another method you could go. But if you're starting small and you're wanting to saturate everything, you just need like our pitch, generally speaking, to influencers is, hey, we want to give you this much money, or we want to give you this product, which is worth this much money, or we want to give you these products. So if you say, hey, we're going to give you $200 worth of products, that would be worthwhile, or $500
Yeah.
worth of products or something, right? That's cool. Like that's value. Um, but if you just ask them to do it for free, generally speaking, they may not. You're going to get a lot more. We have about a 10% acceptance rate on gifted campaigns. We have about I'd have to look at the numbers on this, but I'm fairly positive it's closer to a 20% acceptance rate when we pay even a little bit upfront. So that's
Gifted
like,
campaigns means I'm going to give it to you for free.
yep, gifted campaign plus
Okay.
commission. We got about a 10% acceptance rate. It nearly doubles if we go paying even something like $30 up front,
Okay.
$50 up front. But you just have to understand that there's a lot going on in creators' lives. They may not see the notification. They may be getting paid $5,000 per post by other companies, and they may not want to work with you unless you pay them. Another model that people do, like Tim does this. You just sponsor people. Like, hey, I'm going to pay you $500 a month. You have a small YouTube channel, and I want you to be a sponsored. Um, you know, what's my fake climbing gear name? First Descent athlete or something, right? And we're just, in exchange for that, we're just going to send you everything we produce for free, and all we ask is that you just do content about it when you go climbing. Just integrate it, or just all we ask is first give us feedback. Do you like it? If you like it,
That seems like a really inexpensive way. Like, hey, $500
yeah,
sponsor. Whenever you talk about something, just make sure you mention our name and here's your coupon
right.
code.
Biggest thing is I want to move people away from thinking that they're going to get a whole bunch of something for a whole little of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
Got to
not
pay to
how
play.
life works.
Got to pay to play. Paul, this has been great. I know you got a mastermind coming up. I want to respect your time. Talk about your masterclass you got coming up tonight. I know you touched on it
Mhm.
briefly, but what are some of the topics you're going to cover in this little masterclass you're doing?
Yeah, so the entire topic is using TikTok.
Okay.
How to find creators on TikTok. A to Z, we walk people through. Okay, so first, using TikTok Creator Marketplace, what that is, how you create an account, how to find people, so how to set it up, how to find creators. It's like starting with personas. We help you build. We give you a whole download on identifying this persona, right? So I said you're creating offers so good for people they would feel stupid saying no. In order for you to do that, you have to understand what their goals are. So we start with a persona, put that together. Then we teach you how to find creators. Then we teach you how to put together a campaign. We give you a template for a creative brief. We teach you what to say if they reply that they want money, like they want more money than you're willing to pay. Everything. It's like how to create links, how to do attribution links, how to negotiate with them, like
This
literally
is almost
everything.
like I could get a VA. Let's say I have a VA.
Yeah.
I could say, in this, we're going to do these SOPs.
Yes, this is exactly so. The one thing that I have is that this is a non-disclosure, non-compete. So if you're an agency and an agency is going to watch this, and you're like, hey, I'm going to watch this and start offering this, sorry, you can't.
Sorry, can't.
Um, but this is designed for the people that are like, hey, I just want to do this myself, or I want my team. I want to hire a VA, or I want to do this myself. So who this is designed for is kind of that people getting started. It's $150. It's a low cost. Once it's evergreen, it'll be 200. But still, that's low cost and small investment that they can either do themselves. They could have a VA go through and do this themselves. Or this is for bigger agencies where they already have a team of people. Like there was a couple of guys that I met that they've already got like a team of like 15 people, and they even have a dedicated social media manager on their team. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to have her go through it. It was like perfect. Because
Genius.
yeah, I mean, they wouldn't. I mean, the reason why I'm doing this is that I want to help people as much as I can. Obviously, there's going to be people that are going to take this and be like, I can't do this. I'm going to hire you. But this is designed for those people that either don't want to hire us, they have a team, they want to do it themselves, or they're like, can't afford to hire us. So, yeah.
Okay. You can check that out. I got the link in the description, influxcatalyst.com. I do like the new branding. I think the color is really cool here. The colors and the brand name,
dude,
really catchy.
That was 100% my team.
That looks great.
Like
I saw you post and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, one of the guys on my team has just shown a knack for web development and graphic design. He was an account manager before, but now he does all this. He's really good.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, this website is awesome.
Yeah, shout out to my team. It's not me. Literally, I was going through this thing, like the presentation, because my team put it together, because they've been the ones doing all the work, and I was learning things in my own presentation.
That's amazing.
I was like, I didn't know you could do that.
Well, I encourage everybody, check this website out. It's if it's anything like the presentation is going to be, I'm sure the presentation is going to be killer.
It's going to be amazing, dude. Really, I am so proud of them. I am not kidding, man. Like, this is the most in-depth training I've done in a very long time, since MBU, since the chat marketing course.
Oh my gosh.
Like, this is really good.
So where do you see yourself here in like a couple of years? Is this going to be something where you may sell off your brand and just focus solely on the agency?
I don't know that I'll ever just focus. I mean, because we have 2 other brands that we're spinning up now.
Okay.
Where I see myself is ideally just a strategic director, and that my team will run it. Because the team is doing a really good job. So where I see myself is kind of doing more of what I'm doing, like continuing to do like this type education stuff. Because, if we're talking from a purely marketing lead funnel way, the best way that you can get people to come and hire you is to show them how to do everything. It's like what Ezra Firestone does. Like, hey, this is everything, how to do it. You can do it yourself. The simple fact of the matter is there's going to be people that are going to hire our agency. So that's always been my strategy, as I've just been really shit at monetizing. I've been giving everything away.
Now you're focusing on it. Now you're getting it.
I'm done pouring my own money into keeping the business working. I need to make money.
You should, man. You are one of the guys that I look forward to hearing from, especially on stage. Straight shooter. I like the no fluff. It's like, this is what's happening, and this is what we're doing. And if you can do it yourself, you can. If not, we have a service for it. Like, a lot of times in this space, you'll get a lot of salesy pitches and whatnot. I like that you're straightforward with it.
I have a very gut reaction to the underhanded sales tactics. I hate them. Like, I don't negotiate. I'm the worst at buying things because I don't negotiate. Like, here's the thing. My method of negotiation is, this is the price, and you can pay it or not.
Or not.
It's how I negotiate eating dinner with the kids. Here's the dinner. You can eat it or go to bed hungry. What's your choice?
You make that decision.
Right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This has been episode 254. Dustin and I will be back at this again. Paul, always welcome. I'm going to follow you, and I'm probably going to sign up for this masterclass and try to figure out what's going on over here with TikTok.
Love it.
But I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, bro. I'm talking with Drew about being out in KC pretty soon. So when I'm out there, I'll let you know.
Definitely. We'll show you some barbecue.
Love it.
Maybe you can get you to a Chiefs game. I know you're a Broncos fan.
You know what? I would cheer for the Chiefs over the Raiders. Like, I think that it would be a cold day in hell before I cheer for the Raiders.
For the Raiders, right? I know.
Can't do it.
I know. I couldn't do it either. Never, ever.
Can't do it.
All right, I'll let you run. Guys, I'll turn this off, and we'll be back at it again.
See ya.